got a spot for you here, but.
How you guys doing? If I could ask you to just take your hats off, you can put them down in front of you if you want, right on the table. Just kind of gets in the way of the screen. Appreciate it. Coach, can I ask you to?
Can you hold on 1 second?
Oh, sorry.
Give me 1 second. Take my hat off.
Yeah,
Is that
thank
what
you.
you're saying?
Yes.
Give me 1 second. Okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to those who have stuck with us all day. Just a few reminders before we get going. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, the coaches and student athletes that are joining us, please silence your cell phones, and recording any of the press conference on your cell phone is prohibited. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We have 2 mic runners in the room. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking your question. And also, please direct to who you're asking the question towards. If you are joining us on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address questions in the room first and then take questions from Zoom if time permits. Joining us now is members of the UCLA Bruins, head coach John Savage, and student athletes Dean West and Rock Chalowski. So if we could start with a brief opening statement from Coach, and then we'll open it up to questions from the student athletes.
Well, I think you can see by my nameplate, you could tell that they weren't expecting us right here. But no, I'm teasing. We're excited to be here. Clearly, very hard place to get to. Tough place to get to. We've been a #1 national seed in 15 and 19, and didn't get here, and just goes to show you how difficult it is. And just really proud of our guys that have gone through this season, and playing good baseball. We're looking forward to the next challenge.
Okay, we'll open up the questions from the student athletes.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Rock and Dean, can you guys just speak a little bit about, what it means to take UCLA back here to Omaha? Everybody knows, it's very tough to get here. Talk a little bit about what it means to take this storied program back here to Omaha this year.
So it's been a long time since we've been back here. Last time we were back here was 2013, and we kind of just want to come back here and kind of put our name back out there on the map and kind of just show everyone what West Coast baseball has to offer.
It's really special. We got a special group of guys. We've dealt with a lot of adversity through the year, and just getting back to Omaha, where the Bruins should be, is really special to us.
Justin Fromer, Hastings Tribune. For both of you guys were obviously here a couple weeks ago for the Big Ten tournament. What were talks like after that game against Nebraska, and maybe how it helped you guys refocus for the NCAA tournament, because you obviously haven't lost since?
Coach made a good point after the game that we can use this game and that weekend out in Omaha in the Big Ten tournament is only going to be useful if we make it useful. So just, understanding the park, getting a taste for what Omaha is, and just being hungry to get back here was the main thing.
Yeah, I thought Rock nailed it. There's always something you can take from each game. It's just dependent on kind of just what you want to take out of it, and kind of just attack each day with that same intent.
Matt Byrne, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. For both of you guys, just to go off that, you guys had come so close in May, and now you're back here with a chance for something even bigger. Can you kind of describe what that feeling is like?
Obviously, it's a big deal to kind of come back here to Omaha, but we know that we just need to approach each game like it's every other game and not come out of ourselves.
It's pretty surreal being back in Omaha. Only 8 teams a year get to come here and compete for a national championship. And the fact that we're still playing baseball in late June is very important to us. And, that's just the main goal. It's what we chase all year. So being back here with just a chance to win a national championship is really real.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Well, Rock, Dean, thanks for taking the time to join us, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will open it up to questions for Coach.
Justin Fromer, Hastings Tribune. Same thing, just about you guys being back in Omaha and how you were there a couple weeks ago. Is there any advantage just the fact that you sort of played in, especially in that Nebraska game, somewhat of a road environment, just so you have a feel of the stadium, the dimensions, all that stuff?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think we're the only team that's been here, right? This is the first time forever that the 8 teams last year are not back. So that means there's a bunch of new faces, So the fact that we played a week-long tournament here, I think, is an advantage. Just in terms of the hotel, practices. We played Illinois, we played Michigan, played Iowa, played Nebraska in front of a 15,000. I thought we could, like Rock said, we could use that environment, to our advantage. We haven't lost since that game. So in many ways, I think we can't get too comfortable, right? I told the guys it's not about getting comfy here and losing that edge that we have right now. So I think at the end of the day, baseball's baseball. That's what's great about our team. We like to play anywhere, anytime, against anybody. I think they'll just treat it like, another game. But at the same time, I have to say that being here for a whole week in Omaha and seeing where you want to go, right? A lot of teams talk about Omaha, but it's, they hadn't seen it. And we had the advantage of seeing it and loving it and wanting to get back to it. So at the end of the day, I got to believe that we could use that to our advantage.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Coach, can you just speak a little bit about what Rock has meant for this team, growing as a leader and his offense and defense? I mean, he's been great in all aspects this year, it seems. He
really has. I mean, he's as good as players we've had, and we've had some monster players. We've had 30 major leaguers, so I think he's gone on the path of that route. He's just a winning kid. His feel for the room, his feel for his teammates, his feel for games, his IQ, his baseball IQ is extremely high. We had one of the best American shortstops over the last 15 years in Brandon Crawford. He was a phenomenal shortstop. He reminds me of him on the defensive side. They love playing defense. They love being the quarterback. They love handling that 9-on-1, proposition. And you just don't see many guys that are defensive players of the year that are also the player of the years. That goes back to, special guys, over 20 hit by pitches, walks, just playing the game. He just plays the game to win. So I think it just rubs off on other guys. It takes the selfishness kind of off some guys and gets them unselfish. And at the end of the day, he's just a winning player. He's been very loyal to UCLA. He played third base last year, hit over 300, had a good freshman year, but at the same time, he's a true potential major league shortstop. And, we're lucky to have him, but he certainly is one of the guys. I mean, he's a leader, but at the same time, he's a true Bruin. And at the end of the day, all he cares about is winning.
Noah Darling, College Baseball Central. Coach, you mentioned Rock. Obviously, there's just been a ton of talent in the UCLA program, but as your players mentioned, haven't been to Omaha since you won it all in 2013. So outside of the individual players like Rock, what makes this team different than some of those that came up short in the past?
Well, I think it's really hard to get here, number one. And you got to have some breaks. You got to have matchups. You got to have health. There's a lot of things that go into it. Like I said earlier, we had 3 double plays in the regionals and super regionals that swung those games. I mean, we had some dog fights with ASU and Irvine and, of course, UTSA. And so I think we've learned from that. We got through that. We played at home. I think anybody would want to play at home in regionals. You look at the percentages and super regionals and home records for Omaha teams. And, I guess it certainly is an advantage, and things fell right for us. UTSA, beat Texas, and then they came to us, and then we were one of the last regional sites. I think we're 15th seed. So, things fell right. And like I said, we were really good in 15. We were really good in 19. We were really good in 20. COVID hit us. We won 40 games in 22. I mean, we've won a lot of games, but we just hadn't knocked the door down and haven't got here. And sometimes that's how people judge you. And that's how major league teams are judged by playoffs. They're judged by getting to the World Series. Some of them have really good years. But, at the end of the day, it's about playing here, like Rock said, playing in the middle of the country in the middle of June. And, we got here. And the one thing, too, is I don't consider us a young team. We've had, you can talk about our youth. We have a lot of sophomores. 37 of our 40 players are homegrown players. They're all recruitable players. So we're not really a portal operation. We're not. But they've played 115 Division I games, a lot of these sophomores. There was junior colleges in California that were older than us last year. That's how things are stacked up with the 20 rounds of draft. There's a lot of really good college baseball players that have already been scouted that are 21, 22, 23 years old that are not prospects. That's the truth be told. And it's unfortunate. They're still really good players. They could still possibly be a professional. They're going to get their degree, but there's been a log jam. And, hasn't really been a log jam for us. Our juniors go out and sign and play, and that's kind of been a cycle, a 3-year cycle at UCLA. And really, the last couple of years, that's not the last thing you want to be is young in college baseball, college football, college basketball. Ask any Division I football coach, any Division I basketball coach. Youth is not where you want to be. It's just that model used to work, but that model doesn't work. As many freshmen as we had. So. Now, if they turn into super sophomores like we have now, then you wore it last year and then you come back and it's paid off, right? But some people don't have patience, and people say this or that. But to our credit, our kids have stayed together and they believe in one another, and they're really good players. And there's a lot of future high prospects on our team other than Rock. Roman Martin, Dean West, Levu. Cash Duggar, we have several guys that are really good prospects that other than Rock. So I can go on and on about the landscape of it, but and the West. Look at the West. You got 3 regionals on the West. You had 11 teams from the West and 3 regionals. You only could have 3 teams that come out of it. That's it. That's all you can have, right? Irvine or us are going to come out of, or ASU or Fresno. That's it. The 3 are done. You look at the Oregon Regional. Arizona comes out of that. Oregon State has to come back and beat USC. USC had a really good team. They beat them twice. And then you have 3 teams got through the Super Regional. So that's pretty cool. That I think it's the first time since 1988 that you had 3 ex-Pac-12 teams, playing. And that's pretty cool. It's a credit to Arizona and certainly a credit to Oregon State. So that part's pretty cool, because I was a Pac-10 guy for a long time, Pac-12 guy, and it has a strong history in Omaha. I think it has the most national championships of any conference out there. USC had a lot to do with that, obviously, but I was part of one in 1998 at USC, and then we built a something at UCLA, played for a national championship in 2010 with Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer. 2 really, really, really good players, two legit pitchers. And then in 12, and then we finally knocked the door down in 13. So I don't want to carry on too much, but I just think it's a hard place to get to. That's all I can tell you.
Noah Bieniek of 11.7. Coach, one of the biggest offseason stories outside of coaching changes was Jackie Robinson Stadium. The last question you were asked, what made this team so different? I want to ask, How did this team navigate that fall?
It was hard. The first day of school in September, we were told, hey, you got to be out by noon. It was like the Colts leaving, where'd the Colts leave? Baltimore, in the Mayflower trucks. That's what it was like. It was like You got to be out by noon, taking stuff off the walls, cords, TVs, this. You got to leave the ballpark. I mean, that was the first day of school for a freshman that committed to UCLA. Now it's being told, hey, you don't have any home. And then, but to credit to Cody and of course Rock and Michael Barnett, the leadership, that we built a little clubhouse on campus and we worked out of there, and we worked on the intramural field. We worked out on the intramural field during the fall. We worked out at Harvard Westlake, Notre Dame High School, Birmingham High School, LA Valley. I mean, some phenomenal places that really helped us. So we bust every day to those places. So, and then we got back in January. So it's been a long ride, but our guys stuck together. They're on the buses a lot. We're in LA traffic a lot. So there's a lot of time spent to one another, probably outside of the NCAA hours in a lot of ways because we were in traffic. But at the end of the day, they grew. And it just felt, at the end of fall, I knew that we potentially had something special. I was just hoping we had enough talent. The makeup was there, the character, the loyalty, the toughness, and that's great to all have that, but you got to have talent at this level. And, the talent, I think, really showed throughout the year, to get where we are today. But, Jackie Robinson Stadium is, and we still had to, we don't have any decision yet. We're still up in the air on that. I think July 1st is the date. So, we're just going one day at a time. We love playing at Jackie Robinson Stadium. We love that Jackie played at UCLA, played 4 sports at UCLA. They love it. They love Jackie, and they loved the fact that they were honored to be a UCLA Bruin playing at Jackie Robinson Stadium on the Veterans Grounds. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of tie-in there. There's a lot of buy-in there. We just hope, knock on wood, that we can play there over the next several years.
Hi, Coach. Peter Burnett from the Council Bluffs Nonpareil. You kind of talked about it earlier about just the West Coast and kind of the resurgence or renaissance this year. Coach Hale from Arizona talked about the struggle kind of going against SEC recruiting that has become strong in that area. And then Coach Morgan State, Cannon, was talking about just kind of his pride being from the Northwest and the history. Can you just kind of reflect on what maybe has been the catalyst for the success of the West Coast teams this year, and what the history is that you're bringing as a region here to Omaha this year?
Well, I think the dialogue is, West Coast baseball is dead, and it's moving all to the Southeast and Atlantic Coast, and we have lost a lot of players to that area. But I've always said you can win a national championship with players from Santa Barbara to San Diego. I mean, I'm telling you, they're all over the place. And then you include Central California. You include Northern California. There's players, but it's become harder. It's become harder to, this was the #1 recruiting class in the country, this Chalowski class. And they've stuck together, and they were as good as advertised. A lot of classes are not as good as advertised. We had a #1 class several years ago. It wasn't quite as good, and things have changed. I mean, you can get hurt in the draft now and be perfectly fine with the portal. Where before, oh God, LSU got hurt in the draft, or UCLA got hurt in the draft, and those days are long gone. You can recover within 48 hours. And I don't really like it because I believe in evaluation of talent, and I believe in development of talent. And those are still pieces of the pie in terms of success, but a little less now because people can get good without developing. People can get good without evaluation. People can get good by looking at rankings. And people tell, back when I started, nobody told us where the good players were. You had to go find them. And things have changed because of perfect game and this and that and different rankings. And that's fine. It's great for the notoriety of the game. It's great for the player. They can say that they're ranked #3 in the state of California or whatever. But at the same time, the true evaluation of the game has been knocked down. And, people are telling coaches where to go now, where before coaches had to go find players. So I don't mean to sound old, and I apologize if I am, but I still think there's a talent of evaluation. I think there's still a talent of development that we are showing that in this era, and it's hard. It's a hard model to go down. It really is. Is it sustainable? I don't know. I mean, if we're here next year, then I guess you could say, oh, you know what, that thing worked pretty good for a couple of years. But at the same time, right when you think you have something, you don't. So I'm excited for the West Coast. I know the coaches on the West. I know the leagues on the West. I mean, you look at UC Irvine. I mean, Ben Orloff's as good as coach as there is in America. He is. I can tell you that by just playing with him. Pat Hallmark, who I just played against at UTSA. I mean, he's not in the West, but you're talking about a phenomenal coach. You're talking about a winning coach, a coach that knows how to build a program. I admire guys like that. I really do. I told Coach Hall, you can feel good coaches. You can feel real players. You could beat sometimes like, God, how do we get beat by them? They're not that good, Or, you know what? We just got flat beat. They're a better team. They're a better coach. They're better prepared. I mean, you say that sometimes. It's baseball. But at the same time, I just think that there's still a lot of good players on the West. Look at the Major League rosters. I mean, look at Major League rosters. I mean, there's still a flood of players from the West. Now, a lot of their resumes have changed a little bit currently the last 5-10 years, from different parts of the country because of facilities and money and exposure. And, that's the hard part on the West is we're still battling a lot of those fights. And, we have the best weather in the country. Okay. Nobody can argue that. LA is the best weather in the country. Okay. No one has better weather than Los Angeles. I truly believe that. So we got that, and baseball's an outdoor game. And if you want to be a big leaguer, it's nice to be outdoors every day and work outdoors and take ground balls and hit outdoors and, so on and so forth. So there are a lot of selling points, certainly on the West, but it's just become a tougher game. No question about it.
This time we're going to take a question from Zoom. A reminder to state your name and media affiliation.
Hey, Coach, Nick Rubeck from the Orange County Register. Just curious on how you approach this tournament specifically. Is it a 4-team tournament like your like the regional, pitching wise specifically, or do you kind of have to have the longer term and bigger picture in mind?
I'm just glad to hear somebody from Orange County. It's good to hear from you. Yeah, it's 2 regionals. I mean, it's simple math. It's 2 regionals. It's very, 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 very important you win the first game, that you don't get dumped into the losers bracket. You're not really concerned. I'm not concerned about Arizona and Coastal Carolina and Oregon State, and Louisville right now. I mean, there's no reason to. I mean, you're in your own regional. And you got Murray State, who's as good as coach and good as team as there is out there. People say they're Cinderella. I mean, I don't really look at any Cinderella. I mean, we played Stony Brook in was it Stony? Yeah, Stony Brook in 2012, and they beat LSU right at LSU to win that regional. That's all I need to know. I mean, I looked at Murray State, and they had to go through Ole Miss. They had to go through Duke. They had to go through Georgia Tech. That's all I need to know. I mean, I don't need to think that, they're a Cinderella story. I mean, they got really good players. They are very well coached. They got pro players. So yeah, it's a regional. You got LSU and Arkansas clearly on the other game. That's the feature game, right? We all know that's a feature game at 6, and we're the other game at 1, and then it turns into a double elimination tournament. So, we played 3 teams in the regional, which is a little uncommon. We played Fresno. We played ASU. We had to beat Irvine to move on. So we're battle tested too. UTSA. I mean, all you need to know, they went through Texas. They got Texas twice. I mean, they didn't even play in the if necessary game. So that means UTSA is really good. And so everybody here has been tested. And Murray State is, they've been good all year, like UTSA. Like I said, you win 40-something games. It doesn't mean like they're hot. They just got hot. Not really. I mean, they were good from day one. And so, we respect the game. We respect whoever we go one at a time, all those things. And Murray State's the next opponent. So we're focused on Murray State. We're not focused on anything other than that. So the pitching side, I don't know exactly what the question was, but, we haven't had a monster number one all year. We kind of pieced it together, and Barnett's now kind of stepped up as that guy, and then we move on to Stump or Moss or something like that. But at the same time, it's a tournament, man, and you're going one day at a time. But I look at it as two regionals. I love the format. I think it's a fair format. The best 2 out of 3, I love that. I mean, I was a pitching coach on the 21-14 game with Arizona State and USC. That was a one game. Arizona State had this many losses when they lost that game. They didn't get beat twice. And we had one loss, right? We lost to Arizona State. No, I'll take that back. We lost to LSU the first game. And then we beat Mississippi State. We beat Florida. And then we had to beat LSU twice. And then, that I think, I don't know when they turned into double elimination, but that was a CBS 10 a.m. game at Rosenblatt, 1998, 21-14, one game, winner takes it all. So this is a really good format. It's an exceptional format. 75th year. They know exactly what they're doing. It's a phenomenal tournament, and it's just, we're just excited to be back.
Time for one more question.
Coach, earlier, Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, earlier you mentioned Cody's name. How much of the situation around Cody Del Vecchio can you reveal? And how much of an impact do you project him having on the College World Series this upcoming?
Well, it's a tough situation because, the academic ineligibility is real, right? We're on a quarter school system. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the quarter system, but you have 3 11-week sessions, and you get evaluated off each quarter, right? You have to pass 2 out of 3 classes, and you got to meet a certain GPA, and any academic institution knows this, but the semesters are quite different. In semesters, you get stamped in January, and then you're good to go the whole year. Well, in the quarter system, you can get knocked off in March, right? End of March. And that's what happened. He pitched and pitched for us, and then he had to meet his grades for the third quarter. The truth be told, and he's done that. And so as of now, it looks like he is eligible. He is with us. He's certainly going to be able to be a big piece out of the bullpen for us. He's not the magic man. He's not going to be coming out of, we've won a lot of games over the last 2.5 months. So, he's just going to be another piece into our bullpen. But he's worked very hard. He's been with us every day, practice-wise. He's thrown a bunch of simulated games. He's thrown a bunch of live at-bats. So he's up to par. I mean, he's ready to go. But it's nice to have, it's like bringing a guy up for the playoffs from AAA. It's unusual. I mean, wasn't sure if we were going to get to this point, but it looks like we are there now, and good for him and good for us.
That will conclude today's press conference. Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Good luck
Appreciate
this week.
It. Thank you.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference